Saturday, the 1st of June 2024. In this video, I'm going to talk about the election. Obviously, I have to. And I will give some of my ideas and thoughts. If you look at the current results, and I think we're close to the end now, things won't change very much more. You look at the top 5 parties, you will see it's the ANC, the DA, MK, EFF and the IFP. Now, all of those parties are left on the political scale, on the left, all of them. The first one that is not fully on the left, somewhere in the middle, is the Freedom Front Plus. But the Freedom Front Plus is not a factor anymore. I'll talk more about that. So we're sitting with a situation that the top 5 is left. Now in Qatar, I'm not so sure whether they can be seen as left. From what I see from them and from what I know of them, they're actually conservative. But they're small, with 3% of the votes, 3.8%. The EFF, we all know, totally radical social communists. MK, the problem with MK is, MK went into this election. They don't have an economic plan, they don't have a social plan, they've got nothing. Nothing. They just pitched up for the voting. And they got a damn lot of votes. They did extremely well. They pushed the EFF down, they stripped the ANC out of the majority. But they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. I've always said, from the beginning, I think the main plan is to get Natal independent, KZN independent. That is what I think is the main plan for MK. I think that was Zuma's mission, to get Natal out of the Republic. And that is what his backers want from him. And he's going to be able to deliver. Between him and the IFP, they've got very close to 66% of the vote. They'll scrape 1 or 2 of those small parties in to support them. And so I think that was the main mission, get Natal out. And the ANC got slaughtered in Natal. They came third. So that was the main mission for MK. And I think this national drive was more a case of disturbing the ANC further, as far as they can. And I think they thought, maybe we're lucky and we get what we want. But then we get to the DA. The DA is 100% under XXX control. The DA doesn't really care about you and about me. They feel focal for our children. They are pushing this unisex bathrooms where they want a 20-year-old black guy to share the bathroom with your 12-year-old daughter. That's what they want. They think it's a fucking good plan. They're all over the place with this gender confusion shit. So the last thing you can say about the DA is that they have got Christian values. They don't. They don't have conservative values. They don't have Christian values. They out and out liberals from center to far left. So they have got their instructions from their handlers, which is XXX, and that's what they're doing. The ANC is in the precarious position where they are because Cyril was riding the fence. Cyril was riding the fence between the West and Briekmerke, and he ended up with a fence post in his ass. That is what happened. I've talked about it many times, and I predicted it was going to happen. Now there it is. Cyril is sitting at a shit place today. He needs a coalition if he wants to stay in power. And who's he going to bring in? Any one of these top guys are going to push him. The problem is It is only MK that can take him over the 50%. But MK has already stated their case of what they want. So, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised by the low levels of violence around the election. I expected a hell of a lot more. I must admit, I did expect a lot more violence. But amazingly enough, it wasn't. There wasn't violence. Here and there, but it was isolated and nothing to make you nervous. So I'm wondering what the hell is going on. But I think the coalition formations in the different provinces and in the National Assembly, those are the things that's going to tune up the tensions. Because, and I say this objectively, the logical coalition option is the DA and the ANC. That's a logical one. That will be the best one for the country out of the bunch. But that is going to create massive issues for both parties. So, will sanity prevail? I don't know. Sanity rarely prevails in South Africa. So, let's see it there. Let's talk about the Freedom Front Plus. The Freedom Front Plus was confronted last year in July about what they did with the Afrikaner Accord and Section 235 of the Constitution. And it was a heated debate. Not a debate, just remarks from this side and that side and that side. And yes, I drove that campaign hard, clean the pigsty. In the end, it didn't happen. And those Vaselinas that were sitting in the top 10 positions were so arrogant and self-assured that they didn't pay attention to what the people were saying. That all they had to do was to check my channel and look at the comments in my videos, and they would have picked up the mood. They didn't. And then there was that poll that I ran on my community page in which I asked you, what do you identify? A liberal Afrikaner, conservative Afrikaner, or a Boer? And 84% voted Boer. That was an eye-opener. And that should have told the Freedom Front Plus something. But, as we know, in their arrogance, they flatly ignored it, and the voters has now punished them. I think a lot of their voters have voted for the DA, but a lot of them also voted for other parties, some of the newer parties. That is what happened there. But the Freedom Front Plus was slaughtered. They were planning for 25 seats. They'll be lucky if they get 4. I don't think they're going to get 4. They might get 4. But here comes the shit. If they get 4 seats, who are going to sit in those seats? Those people that the public, the Freedom Front voters, has already said they don't want to see those guys. So that Vaseline gang, they're going to sit on those seats. So it's my opinion that the Freedom Front Plus has reached their sell-by date. And it's ironic. When the Freedom Front Plus joined the Moonshot Pact, I said in one of my skidmarks, these guys that are joining that shitshot pack of Johnny must understand one thing. The DA is going to swallow them up. They're going to swallow all those parties. And the things that is going to happen most probably is that the voters of those smaller parties are going to say, okay, they're going to go with the DA in any case, so I'll vote directly for the DA. That happened a lot. And if you go and look, of all the parties in that shit shot, none of them actually benefited from the pact. Only the DA and the IFP has done well. The IFP has grown. But I am of the opinion that that IFP growth is fueled by the conservative Zulus in KZN. That's the growth that the IFP. I don't think they grew anywhere else in the country. So, the Shit-Shot Pact was cleverly designed to neuter the small parties, and the small party leaders fell for it. But now they're paying. They're bleeding. And the last thing I want to say is, the thing that makes me smile about this election result is all the people, all the cadres, specifically cadres, that has lost their seats. A lot from the ANC has lost their seats. A lot from the EFF is going to lose their seats. And I like that. Now they can feel what it feels like to be retrenched. And I saw a video last night of two ANC councillors that were talking. And the one guy said to the other guy, I've got a big problem. I took some money from people for something that I must deliver for them. Now I've lost my seat, so I won't be able to deliver. I've got a problem. Well, I think he's got a problem, but it's a problem of his own making. What I think at this point in time is there's a lot of rumors about irregularities in the voting and in the election. And for the first time, there is a lot of parties that are vocally revealing the foul play. And it's not being swept under the carpets. What the end of that will be, I don't know. Could the election be called bullshit and they must vote again? Yeah, anything is possible. But we have that problem with that woman that's in charge for the IEC. We know she's a CIA plant. We know she's a XXX plant. All of that was clear. And here you can see. And then the fiddling with the results, equipment failures and things like that, and the fact that the online app went offline for about 2 hours yesterday. These are things that must be considered. But fortunately, there's a lot of heavyweights that are now bitching about what happened. So let's see what happens. I think the creation of coalitions is going to be, let's call, interesting. Saturday, have a braai, enjoy. Please give me a like, and subscribe, and share the thing. Thank you for your support.